everyone, so welcome back to this month's video. Today I'm going to teach you how to make these really cool rain sticks. So a rain stick is a piece of cardboard tube that we decorate, and inside we put rice and pastas and beans, all dried things, so that when we tip them back and forth they make a sound that kind of sounds like rain. So today you guys will be able to experiment with the supplies that you have to get the rain sound that you like, and then you'll also be able to decorate it. So let's make sure we have everything we need to start this, and then I'll teach you how. So the first thing we'll need, which is the important thing, are some paper tubes. So sometimes the tubes are long, like in a paper towel roll, or sometimes you have short ones like this. But we want our rain stick to be pretty long so that we can really hear the sounds as they go up and down. So what we're gonna do is tape these together so that we have one long tube. So I'll show you how to do that. So you'll need a paper tube. You'll also need some dried pasta, so uncooked pasta and uncooked rice, and also some dried beans, and that's what's gonna make our sound. Now, if you're at home and you're doing this without a kit that I made for you, then you can find some other things around your house that also might make some nice sounds, so that's for you to experiment with. The next thing we're gonna need is some foil. You're gonna need some tape, this is a fun decorative tape, but you also might need some regular clear tape. You want some markers to decorate with, or you could use paint. We're also putting some stickers in your kit, so if you have stickers and you want to use that, that would be really nice to decorate with. And then also some construction paper. And that should be everything we need to make this, so let's get started. So the first step to make this rain stick is to get our smaller tubes, if you got smaller tubes in your kit, and tape them together so that we have one long, nice tube. Okay, so let's go do that. Okay, so we're starting with our 3 tubes like this, and we want to tape them all together into one long tube. So I'm gonna start with 2 first and just hold them like this, and then put a strip of tape around to stick them together. Okay, so I just have a piece of tape here, and first I'm just gonna put it on my first piece halfway, like this, and I'm gonna take my other piece, my other tube, and put it right next to that first tube. Oops. Put it right next to that first tube so that they're gonna be joined together. And I'm just gonna take the sticky tape and just wrap it all the way around. Look, that was perfect length. Okay. And this part's folded under, but that's okay. All right, so I really want to press down and make sure that those are going to be well stuck together. And this part doesn't have to look perfect because it's going to get covered with the paper later, so don't worry about if there's any wrinkles or anything like that. Okay, so I'm going to stick this piece together now. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to take my tape and put half of the tape on the first roll and just get it stuck a little bit. Then I'm going to grab the second roll and join it right at the next roll. Okay, just like that. And then wrap it all around. Man, I got that piece perfectly cut. Fits just right. I'm just going to make sure that's well stuck, and they'll be joined together, and look, there's our nice roll all done. Okay? So now we have our roll all joined together, so it's one nice long roll. So now what we're gonna do is close off one of the ends so that it's not a hole, so nothing falls out. So to do that, I'm gonna use some tape, and you may need some scissors for this part. So I'm gonna grab a piece of tape and cut it that's about the same size as the hole. So about that big. And then I'm just going to stick that on. Just like that. Okay, so we have all these kind of flaps here that we could just fold down, but there's going to be a lot of creases. So what I'm going to do is just go in and snip each corner so that then I can fold down each side like this. And then there's a little bit less of a crease, and it just folds down a little bit more smoothly because we don't want any of the little rice pieces to come out. So again, I'm just going to snip. I'll just go ahead and snip all the sides. And then we're just gonna go in and just fold down each one. And they might cross over each other a little, that would be fine. Just so that we have a really nice tight seal. Okay, like that. Now it doesn't have to look perfect because that part's going to be covered up. This part will cover up later when we decorate. So it's fine if it doesn't look perfect, but we do want to make sure it's well sealed. Okay, so now we have one side nice and covered, and we're going to go ahead and leave the side open so that now we can fill it with our noisemakers. So it's going to take a little bit of trial and error to figure out what the best combination of rice, pasta, and beans is going to make the best sound. So this is kind of fun because it's the time where you experiment and see what sounds best. So I recommend doing more rice than you're going to do anything else because the rice has a really nice soft rain sound. But the bigger things like the pastas and the beans make a really nice harder sound or louder sound, like a loud rain. So you can just experiment and see what sounds best. So the first thing we want to do when we're filling it is put some foil in there. So the foil is going to make it so that all the little pieces of rice and beans and pastas can kind of slow down as they're dropping from one side to the next, and that'll make it a little bit sound a little bit more like rain. So you're going to take your sheet of foil and you're just going to kind of roll it or crinkle it up like this. You don't want to make it too tight, you don't want it to be too skinny, but you also want to make it small enough so that the things can pass through. So I'm just going to crinkle it just like this. Okay, so just about that. It's not a perfect roll, but it'll do. Okay, and then you're just going to stick this in the tube so it's like that. So it's not going to make any noise yet, but once we put everything in it, it'll make a nice noise. So we put that in, now it's time to fill it with the dried things. So let's go do that. So I like to start with the rice, and I don't have an exact amount that I'm doing. I just like to start pouring some in. You might spill a little, but that's okay. Okay, so I just put a little amount of rice. Now I'm going to add some pasta. Okay, a little bit of pasta, and then since the beans are really heavy, I don't like to add too many beans, so I'm just going to pour a few out and take maybe like 3 and put those in, and shake them all down around the foil, and then you want to test it out and listen. So I think that sound is pretty good. I might add a little bit more rice. So again, I'm just going to hold it, just pour in some rice. Okay. All right, and then I think that's ready. So to close this other end after we put everything in, it's just going to be the same way as we did the first end. So I'm going to grab some more tape. And again, you might ask a grown-up to help you with this part since it's a bit tricky. Okay, so I'm just going to cut my piece, which is about this size. And I'm just going to go on the tube, place it on the tube, make sure it's covering well, and then go again and snip the edges. Okay. And then just go ahead and stick those down. Okay. And just make sure that that's a good seal. It doesn't have to look pretty. You just want to make sure it's a good seal. All right, so it's all closed off. So now we can cover it and decorate it. All right, so to decorate, I like to use some construction paper. So we're gonna take our paper, and this one happens to fit perfectly, but if not, you might wanna cut it if it's too short, or if it's not long enough, you can grab some more. So I'm just going to line it up so that it's straight, and then take some clear tape. You can use the fancy tape if you want, but this part isn't gonna be seen, so I'm just going to tape like that. Okay, just so that it holds, and then you're gonna just roll the paper like this all the way around. Oops. Make sure it's a nice roll like that, and then I'm gonna go again and take some tape, and again you can use the decorative fancy tape if you like, but I'm just gonna use clear tape. Alright, so I want to make sure that's all nice and stuck down so it doesn't catch. Now I'm going to take my fancy tape again. See if I can get a piece. Okay, and I'm going to take a whole piece off like this, and I'm actually going to cut it in half. Okay, you might have someone help you because it is sticky and it's hard to cut, so ask an adult to help you if needed. Okay, so I'm going to save this piece and put it on the side and just use this piece for now. And I'm just going to go right around the edges here and just go all the way around, just like that. See, there's a little space there, so if you want to cover that up, you can. Okay, and then we just have kind of a nice cap here, just to make it look cleaner. So I'm going to do that to the other edge. Since this edge is a little messy, I want to also make it look nice. I'm going to take that second half that I had before, and I'm just going to go along the edge. And just tape it around, making sure it's going to cover well. And see, I have a little space here, so I'm just going to cut a small piece that'll just fit right in there, just to make it look nice, neat. Okay, then I'll do that on the other side where I had that other space. I'll just add this piece here. Okay, and I can just trim what's hanging over. Alright, so now we have our ends all taped off so they look nice and neat. So now you can do whatever you want here. You can decorate with markers, you could paint it, you can use the stickers we're giving you in the kits, really whatever you want. You could write here, you could draw here. On the one I made, I wrote, "April showers bring May flowers," because it's true, when it's springtime, we get lots of rain in April, and then by May, all the flowers and the green grass start blooming. So I thought that was a fun saying to write. But you can write whatever you want, or you can draw some flowers. I think for this one, I'll draw some leaves and flowers. So I'm just gonna take my markers and just decorate. And this is the fun part. You can really just do whatever you like and just have fun with it. all done with our Rainstick. So I hope you guys had fun with this craft. I hope you had fun experimenting with the sounds and decorating. And here's to a very happy spring. Thank you for coming, friends. I hope you have a great day. See you next time.